From the Ear to There Travel Studio, this is the Ear to There Disney Podcast.
The Ear to There Podcast, it's time to start the show. Be sure to hold on tight, here we go. Exploring all the different Disney destinations. Ear to There, it's time to start the fun.
Hello everybody and welcome to the Ear to There Disney Podcast. I'm your host, Phil Gramlich. I am also the owner and the founder of Ear to There Travel, which is a Disney specialized travel agency. It is my job to take away all that stress, all that anxiety, and all of that time that it takes to plan a Disney trip so you can focus on the really fun things like having a great time with your family and friends and enjoying the magic. And I do all of that absolutely at no cost to you. So from getting you the best possible price for your hotel or your package reservation, to booking all of your dining reservations, to booking all of your fast passes, Disney's Magical Express, transfers, special event tickets like Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Party and Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party, flights, you name it, I do it at no cost to you. I will be your guide, kind of like Luke Skywalker is Rey's guide in Star Wars The Last Jedi. Remember that part when No, you still didn't see it? Okay, I'm going to remain spoiler-free for a few more weeks, but it's out on digital now. It's going to be out on Blu-ray really soon, so you really ought to see it. But let me be the Luke Skywalker to your Rey and help you plan a fantastic trip. You can find this podcast, my blog, or request a free, no-obligation quote over at ear2theretravel.com. Okay, this is episode number 115 for the week of March 19th, 2018. Now, grab a drink, grab a snack, and as a famous mouse once said, on with the show. And just like I do each and every week, we're going to start off this episode of the podcast with the What About Bob segment of the show. That is where Disney legend and Imagineer Bob Gurr comes on to answer your questions. If you're not quite sure what Bob did, well, Bob created things like the monorails on both coasts, the Omnimover system, which includes, of course, the Doom Buggy vehicles. Those are from the Haunted Mansion. He designed the cars for the Tomorrowland or the Indy Speedway and the Autopia out in Disneyland. The Main Street vehicles, Walt Disney's personal Disneyland car, you name it, Bob built it. And if you have a question for Bob, you can call it in on the voice line. That's 267-551-1971. Or you can email me that question at phil@ear2theretravel.com. And I will get it to Bob, and if Bob likes it, he'll answer it, and we'll put it on the show. And each and every week, What About Bob is brought to you by the Waltland Bus Tour. Each and every month out in California, Bob takes a group of people around on the bus tour. He is the host, he is the narrator, and you visit Los Angeles, Glendale, and Burbank, stopping at all kinds of important destinations in the history of the Disney company, but especially in the life of Walt Disney. If you'd like tickets for the Waltland Bus Tour, just head over to www.waltland.com.
It's What About Bob? Bob Gurr, the legend, creator of the Matterhorn, the monorails and the Haunted Mansion. What about Bob, the Disney legend?
This is from Lexi Christine is her name, a listener, and she wanted to know what your favorite non-Disney creation was that you made. Non-Disney.
Oh, the favorite non-Disney one, I think of all of them, I think the Universal Studios King Kong, because number one, it's a well-known creature. You know, it's had stories way back in the 1930s. People recognize the King Kong the minute they see it. You don't have to explain it. Universal requested that this be a 30-foot tall animated King Kong. and it had to have a fixed delivery date and a fixed budget. I mean, these are all the things that Disney can never do. You can't do fixed budgets and do something that's radical at the same time. The fact that the machine was relatively easy to figure out, it was relatively easy to build, and it was quite easy to program it. And the whole time, this thing was such a fun machine because, if you stand there and you look up at 30 foot of gorilla, I mean, it's an outrageous thing, and it's moving, and it's got personality. So all in all, that was the one that really appealed to me. In fact, it was one of the first that I did after I had left Disney, and that was one of the first big giant jobs that came along. It was not scary at all. It was, in a way, I couldn't wait to get right into it because I would love to see a 30-foot tall animated gorilla.
I have to say that might be my favorite non-Disney Bob Gurr creation. When you were on that cable car and you made that big turn and there was King Kong in front of you, I remember as a kid being terrified of that thing, and it blew my mind how big it was. So thank you to Bob for answering another question on the show and for, well, quite frankly, for creating King Kong. It's a shame that that's not around anymore, but Bob once told me that he lived a lot longer in the parks than he ever thought he would, so that was pretty cool. And thank you to Lexi for asking the question. Lexi, I really appreciate it. Again, if you want your question answered by Bob Gurr, you can call the voice line at 267-551-1971, or you can email it to me at phil@eartotheretravel.com. All right, on to episode number 115 of the show. The Disney theme parks have always been all about story. They take us, the guests, and put us right in the middle of a story that was created by an Imagineer, or even maybe by Walt Disney himself. This week, I wanted to take a look at those areas, those sections of the theme parks that make a guest or make us feel like we are right there in the middle of a movie. Here to talk all about the places, I guess, the things, the locations, the times, the places. I just covered everything that put you smack dab in the middle of a Disney movie is someone who has become a bit of a regular on the podcast, much to my dismay. Of course, it is welcome to, I should say it that way, welcome to my lovely wife, Amy. Ames, thank you again for coming on the show.
Oh, no, thank you. And particularly after that really rousing and wonderful welcome.
We're a couple in love. What can I say?
You can really hear it, too.
Yeah, there's a lot of energy.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Well, great. That was a very, very good opening for you there. Solid. All right. So there are a lot of places in Walt Disney World. It's all about story, right? That's what Disney is.
Exactly.
Walt Disney, when he created Disneyland, the whole thing was a film. You were stepping into his film. He rolled out the red carpet for you. You went through the tunnels, saw the coming attractions, and were in the story. You weren't just watching the story. You were a part of the story.
Right.
That's what Walt Disney World, Disneyland, even the Disney Cruise Line, are parks all over the country, all over the world, not the country. All over the world. That's what they do so well, is they put you into that story. So this is a hard list, I think, because there are just so many places.
That's true.
That put you right in that story. Like I could tell you why every store on Main Street puts you in the middle of the story. A good point. But it was a little more particular, is that the right word? No. Little more specific. That's the word I'm looking for. Because I wanted to find places that put you in the middle of a certain film, a movie. I had the Disney animated movies on my mind first, and then I kind of veered off a little bit. So I'm interested in seeing where your list goes.
I'm kind of all over the map, but I thought it was a
It's
really
like
fun
life.
topic. That's really true. But I thought this was a really fun topic. So thank you.
Hey, listen, there's no off button to the genius switch here, Ames.
Oh, I know.
Always
I live
thinking.
with it all day.
Always thinking. Always thinking. All right. So since you're the guest in your own home, in the little tiny area that I call my studio or my office, or it is really basically a studio, right?
It's a studio. Yeah, this is studio equipment.
Yeah.
I know you guys can't see what I'm pointing to, but...
Yeah, the podcast equipment. Usually I have, it's very professional in here. Only you and I are the only ones that ever record in here, but
that's true.
Mostly it's me.
That would be really weird if someone else came in to record.
Right, like I wonder that. Like whenever I interview, and this is a tangent, super early on.
Totally fine.
But whenever I interview like a celebrity, like a Disney celebrity, I've been asked a couple times, like, where do you want to do it? And I'm like, that's so funny that you asked that. We just do it over Skype. But most people, not everybody, when they hear, because the sound levels are so kind of similar,
you don't know
it sounds like we're in the same room.
Right.
But like whenever I'm recording with like Bob Gurr or Rolly Crump, or when I had Julie Andrews on, we were over Skype.
Yeah, you didn't go to her house.
No, like they offered for me to come to New York and interview her in person.
You guys, he was way too nervous. He said he couldn't do it.
I'd never been able to.
I wouldn't have been able to.
You imagine sitting across from Julie Andrews?
I do not imagine.
Like, no way. And I remember I talked to you about it, and I was like, and there were reasons. Like, we had our kids that were in school.
Right.
And I had to get to Manhattan, and I was like, that's a lot of driving for a 15-minute interview, but it would have been worth it. But I think I would have been way too nervous.
Really nervous, yeah.
And speaking of, Julie Andrews is in film, so we're bringing this full circle.
See, there you go. You did it on purpose.
There you go.
Harry did that tangent.
The tangent all tied back in. Okay. So let's get started. I think you should start us off.
Okay.
Because, let's be for real, my answers are going to be way better than yours.
Ha!
So we have to...
Isn't he funny too, you guys? So
we have to close out with one of mine. So why don't you start as I take a sip of my water. Don't make me laugh and spit it out all over my
professional
microphone. I like to tell the listener what I'm doing.
No, yeah. You do like to break it down.
In case they hear something weird in the background, it's me drinking water. Okay.
It's just a sip of water.
We're sharing a microphone. I have to get you your own microphone.
Yes, that's true. By the way, he's calling this water. It's really funny that he calls it water.
Yeah, it's part vodka, part water. You can't tell because it's clear.
Oh, they don't know what time it is. It could be
like middle of the night.
It's noon.
It's noon. It's 5 o'clock on a Saturday.
Do you think that I should start?
Is it 9 o'clock? How's Billy Joel? How's Piano Man?
9 o'clock.
Not 5 o'clock on a Saturday. That's still appropriate time to drink vodka.
Yeah.
5 o'clock on a Saturday.
Right.
You're not drinking straight vodka that early.
That's probably. Well, it depends on who you are. And what kind of week you had.
I've seen those guys like down in Center City, 5 o'clock on a Saturday.
Sorry, when are you in Center
bottle
City?
of vodka. All right, go ahead. Your first one.
So anyway, my first place that makes me feel like I'm right in the middle of the movie, just to get us back on track, is a little random. It's in Epcot, and it's the Alice in Wonderland meet and greet.
Nice. I didn't even think about that one.
Yeah, that's a good one, I think. It's a little bit off the beaten path. And I think specifically I feel like that because we just happened to have an amazing experience. One time we went, to the area where Alice was going to be greeting people. And she was just like smelling, like she was like bent over smelling flowers. And she just looked up and saw us. Do you not remember this?
Yeah, no, I definitely remember this. Yeah.
She looked up and saw us and she was like, "Oh, hello guys," like in her little accent. And
like we just happened upon her doing her thing.
And she like grabbed, I think 2 of our kids' hands and just like brought them over, but wasn't like, "Oh, let's take a picture." Like it was really like, let's have a fun moment together. And they did. They like were smelling the flowers together. She was showing them different things. And then the White Rabbit came in. And I really did feel like we were in the middle of Alice in Wonderland, the movie. And we were in the movie meeting the character. And it was amazing.
Yeah.
That whole area is very, it doesn't feel like you're in the middle of a park at all. It's as I said, like a little off the beaten path. It's amazing, right?
I totally agree. And you're talking, it's the UK pavilion that happened in, right?
I'm sorry, yes.
Okay. No, I think you said that. I just wanted to make sure.
I don't think I did.
that area itself kind of, it puts you in a movie a bit. Just walking down the streets,
does.
like...
Yeah, you're right.
You feel very much like you could be walking down Cherry Tree Lane in Mary Poppins.
Definitely.
When you're walking down the streets
I almost picked her.
UK. Yeah, like...
Right.
It feels a lot like that. And then you go back and there's the hedge maze and Yeah, I totally get that. It feels like a
yeah,
little
the
like,
hedge maze really makes you feel
like Alice in Wonderland.
yeah,
Exactly.
you're just
yeah.
on the set of the movie, basically.
It feels like that. It's funny because when you said Alice in Wonderland, I instantly thought, and I didn't include at least Disneyland in my list.
I know, I was thinking of that as
But
well.
I thought of that attraction, and
Yes.
that's the new stuff that they put in that attraction.
Yes, it's unbelievable.
In the last several years, it plus, as Walt Disney would say, totally plus that attraction. It's so different. The first time when I rode it in 2008, I was like, it's cute. It was a cute ride,
Right, but now
and it was original. It was an opening day attraction,
It was
and
pretty cool.
it was really cute. Now with the
It's
screen
unreal.
effects and the smoke and the projection and the animatronics,
Totally.
it's an amazing attraction out there. It's great.
Yeah, it's incredible.
Our kids loved it.
But if you don't get to Disneyland, just meet
Yeah,
her
then
in Disney
meet Alice,
World and
yes.
you're good.
Yeah, that's a good one. That's a good first pick. What's going on? As we this is how you can tell that we are recording in person. Is I have a wife who picks things off of my sweatshirt.
He had a lot of hair on his sweatshirt.
We have a blonde. One of our children is blonde.
That's true.
There's nothing you can do. She's lose hair. She's like a dog. She sheds everywhere.
She is like a dog.
She's adorable,
In more
but
ways
man.
than one.
Okay, so my first pick is and this is a weird one because people don't associate this. Usually, you don't associate a bathroom
I know
or
what you
being
mean.
in a bathroom with being in a movie,
That's really true.
but it's
Again, depending on the movie.
could be a really weird movie, like one of those artsy European films.
Right.
Sorry for anybody in Europe who I just offended. I do have some European listeners. We got a lot
Sorry, guys.
in the UK, a lot in Ireland,
That's true. It's amazing.
a lot in pretty big in Sweden.
Oh, yeah, it's a big
Yeah,
Swedish
Sweden.
contingent.
Sweden is Europe, right?
Good to know.
So anyway, she just shook her head. She was like, "Oh, yeah, it is." But the Rapunzel restrooms over at Magic Kingdom, to me, first of all, we need a bigger Tangled presence in the park.
For sure. We say that all the time.
Like Tangled is one of the most underrated recent movies that I can think of.
I couldn't
Like,
agree more with you.
It needs an
love
attraction.
Tangled.
It needs an attraction.
But like kids are still obsessed with it.
Yeah.
I think everyone would enjoy.
And when you walk
Attraction.
by that area, you can't help but want to dance like Rapunzel does
No, I do.
when she gets to the town.
You've seen me. I look
Yeah,
just like
in that
yeah.
scene, you look just like her. Yeah,
It's
but
remarkable. People stop me. more
it's
than all the time.
you know what it is really. You just need a haircut. Like, that's
all it is.
kind of what it boils down to. So I just love it's a very weird sensation because like the other things on this list are like I would guess I'm imagining restaurants and attractions and stuff like that. And we're talking about the restrooms, but
I don't have another restroom on my list. Don't worry.
No, I didn't think
No,
you
but
did.
you're so right. That's so oh my goodness. Encapsulates the whole movie.
This
I
is
was
why you
trying
need to
to
start
be
drinking
clear.
coffee in the morning. Amy doesn't drink coffee, and I tell her all the time,
It's
get you
true.
going.
But it really does. Like it is so strange that it's a restroom. But like as soon as you walk there, you're like the music and just everything really makes you feel like you're part of that movie.
Yeah, and like the tower in the distance,
Yes.
you can get up pretty close to the tower, but through like the forced perspective of it, it feels like it's a little further away when you're in like that little square area where the restrooms are.
Yes, you're
With
right.
the lanterns overhead.
Yeah,
Going
the
there at
lanterns are
night
the
when it's
best.
dark is
oh,
amazing.
I know, that's so true.
And now they have that thing where you can hold the lantern and it looks like you're going to let it go for a
Oh,
photo
I know,
pass.
That's so cool.
It's amazing. And it's
It
just,
is.
the music puts it over the top.
That's what it is, really.
Like when
the
you're
music.
there and you hear that music playing, you feel like grabbing the people next to you and like doing that dance that they all
It's
do in
true.
the movie.
And it's another moment when you don't feel like you're in the middle of a park at all.
No, you don't. It's so well done.
It is.
I just wish there was an attraction there.
I know.
I get it. They didn't have any room for an attraction.
Yeah, that's true.
And they needed the restrooms because they took the restrooms out where Peter Pan's flight is to put the
Right.
interactive queue in.
Which was awesome.
So you needed the restrooms there. I
Sure.
get that. And what I'm going to put you on the spot right here.
Okay. It's not stressful.
What attraction, former Magic Kingdom attraction, was once where the Rapunzel area is now?
Are you going to whisper it to me so I don't
No, I'm just wondering. You think you don't know?
No.
That was where the Skyway station was.
Oh, no, I would not have gotten
Remember, they then used it as a stroller parking area for the longest time,
Okay.
where the Skyway queue was,
Right.
and now they put the new stroller area over by Small World.
Okay, yeah, I know
But
what you mean.
there was there was a big walkway, and then it would go up the stairs, and that's where you would board the Skyway to Tomorrowland. And that's at vacant for how long? For years and years and years.
Yeah, absolutely.
Once they closed Skyway in 99 or I think 99 or 2000, something like that.
Yeah.
So okay. That's my first one. Rapunzel bathrooms. I feel like you were in the middle of that scene in the movie.
You actually do.
Like, I don't want to leave when I'm there.
No, I know. We hang out there sometimes.
So you sit there, and it's weird to have a snack outside the bathrooms.
It is weird, but sometimes I do with music.
Yeah, it's one time actually we were there, and I had my Johnny Short Sleeve Give Me a High Five shirt.
Oh, nice.
On, and I forgot I had it on. And some guy walked up to me and trying to give me a high five, and I was like, what is this guy doing? This is weird. And then he like put in my shirt, and I was like, oh yeah, high five.
He was like, I'm not totally crazy.
Shout out to Johnny Short Sleeve. All right, so Ames, you're up for your next one.
Okay, so my next one is actually a cue, which I thought you would think is kind of fun. And so it is the cue for the Journey of the Little Mermaid.
Nice.
Right? Because, am I right? That's where you walk on the seashells, right?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Yep. Suddenly I couldn't remember for sure.
Yeah, boy, the outside with the waterfalls and
so
everything's moving.
You walk up, and it's another one. It's kind of like Nemo, where it's a little darker. It's a little colder. So you start to walk. You're walking on the seashells, and I really do feel as if you feel like you're underwater, even just walking through the queue.
Yeah, through the caves and all.
Yeah, through the caves, and then there's Scuttle talking to you, and it's like every single part of it comes together to just make you feel like you're...
And the crabs.
Yes, the crabs. I love that part. Yeah. You just feel like you're under the water and you're going to go hang out with Ariel, which then you do.
Yeah, I really like that one too. I love... my favorite part, it's weird, of that queue is just being outside.
I know, I like that too.
And the water and the waterfalls and everything, it's just the sound.
It's very peaceful.
It is. Imagineers did such an amazing job with Fantasyland. I'm going to stop calling it New Fantasyland now because I looked at the map and they took the word new off.
Oh, they took it off?
Now it's just
not new anymore.
Now it's just Fantasyland proper. I know. I asked Lauren Gaggioli, who does the podcast sometimes. I asked her about. We were talking about it, and I said, "Are they going to ever take new off that?"
Oh, that's funny. And they did.
And then I looked at the map. I have the map here in my office, and they did. It's not on there anymore. So I was all mad, and then I was like, "Oh wait, I'm wrong. It's not." Which is so rare for me to be wrong about anything.
Oh, this is probably the first time I've ever seen it. You guys are witnessing history right now.
And if I'm wrong, I'm certainly not going to admit it.
Oh, that's definitely true.
But I love that pick because I feel like
thank you.
The queues, the Imagineers did such a great job with the new queues. Well, they do with every queue now. Like,
oh, for sure.
It isn't your...
They've stepped up their queue game.
Right. It's not your grandfather's theme park anymore.
No, it's not.
Like, they know that when people are waiting in line, these days especially... Yeah, like, the kids aren't used to waiting for a thing.
No.
Like, our kids are patient as patient can be. But after 10 minutes, they're like, why didn't we get a fast pass for this? Right.
They need to be thrown into, like, sounds and sights.
Exactly. And we're not ones who bring electronics with us to the park. Correct. Or give our kids our phones.
Right.
Because I'm not knocking people who do.
No, I'm not.
I completely understand it. I get it. I get, you want the kid to be able to pass the time. But I like to have our kids, we try to interact and talk and that's our family time. Like, because when we're home, we're so busy and we have so much to do. And of course we spend time with the kids, but I find that, those interactive cues really let you have a fun as a family, like while you're waiting.
Absolutely, we have so many memories of just the queues.
Yeah. Except we have some bad memories of the queues, of course.
For sure.
Tantrums in the Pirates of the Caribbean queue, carrying a 3-year-old out while they're kicking and screaming. We have those memories too.
You can't forget them.
But I love that pick.
But there's also a funny story now.
It is a funny story, and she'll maybe enjoy it someday. We don't really talk to her about it. And she's 7, and we don't talk about it now.
Too soon.
Anyway, okay. So my next one, and this one is the first one I thought of when I thought of this.
Good.
When I thought of this topic. And it's Peter Pan's flight.
Oh, you are so right.
And it's the very beginning of Peter Pan's flight is before you get to Neverland. It's the Darling Children's Nursery.
Right.
Children's, yeah. The Darling Nursery. And then when you go out the window and you hear Peter Pan say, "Here we go."
Oh, yes. And you're just in it.
I'm going to try to remember to put that sound clip in this episode.
Oh, that would be awesome.
I'm going to try to put a couple sound clips in this episode because I think when you hear these things.
You should put the Rapunzel music in.
I'll try to remember to put the Rapunzel music in. I don't have a whole lot of time to edit this one today.
Sorry. We got a little late start.
The thing is, we currently are recording this the day that I need to put this podcast out. I got a little behind on the
It's very
recording.
fresh.
I have to be just completely honest with you, the listener, and it adds a little sense of wonder to the podcast. But we are leaving for Walt Disney World in 4 days.
Right. So we have a lot of wonder already.
We have a Disney cruise.
Because we're going on the wonder.
There you go. Look at you tied together. All right, we can't really high five.
We're going to high five.
It'll be too loud on the microphone. She put her hand right in front of the microphone and wanted a high five.
Sorry.
The poor listener would have just gotten in a car accident. Sorry about that. So I didn't want to leave you hanging, but you got
I
it.
appreciate it.
So we're on a tight schedule here trying to get everything together. But yeah, when Peter Pan says, "Here we go."
Come on, everybody. Here we go. Up to Neverland.
Think of a wonderful thought, any merry little thought.
And you hear the "You Can Fly" music, the toot 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 toot
Yes.
toot toot toot, and you first
Just so you know we're dancing.
You pass over Nana and the doghouse in the car
Yes.
outside, and she's out there, of course, because was it George, the dad, George Darling? Is that his name?
Yeah, George.
Because he was fed up with her. I just watched Peter Pan like 2 days ago. He was fed up with the kids. They loved it. He was fed up with her being a pain in the rear end in the nursery. So he puts, and he's, "Oh man, a dog can't be a nursemaid. She's not a nursemaid. She's a dog." And he puts her outside and he ties her up, and then he feels guilty that he ties her up. Anyway, you fly over her, and then all of a sudden you're over London and through the clouds.
You're so
and
right.
the
That
music is still
really
playing.
a moment.
And you see Big Ben and you see the cars. You're Peter Pan.
It's so true.
Or you're Wendy in that moment.
Yeah, whomever you want to be.
Yeah, I mean, I don't care who you are. We're one of the.
You could be Michael.
Or John. You could be any of those guys. Or Tinkerbell. You want to be Tinkerbell? Sure.
You can be Tinkerbell.
Sure. I mean, I'm not pulling off Tinkerbell, but
I don't think so.
but when you feel like that, like that's
No,
the
you
thing.
really do. It's a really good moment.
You forget that you're in the vehicle, in the ride vehicle. You feel like you're flying over the streets of London. It's an amazing feeling. I love everything about it, and seriously, everything about this whole attraction makes you feel like you're smack dab right in the middle of Peter Pan, which is why I think it's still as popular.
No, that's definitely true. That's what I was just going to say. I mean, I've never seen less than 50, maybe.
Yeah.
But not recently.
No.
Usually it's 70 or more. And that's incredible because that's, it's been
It's an opening day attraction.
Exactly.
That's a 1955
and the
design.
movie itself, I don't
from
feel
Disneyland.
like it's right. Like the movie itself, I don't feel like it's talked about all the time. So it has much.
I
more to do
I
with
think the
actual
attraction itself, like watching that film, and then it's one of the closest representations to a Disney animated movie that there is in real
Is it
life.
really? I haven't seen it.
No. I don't mean. I mean just the feeling. Like I don't mean the
yes.
film. I mean that scene from flying out the window over London.
That's like
That
so
happens in the
accurate.
movie. It makes it's. I can't put it into words. I'm like stuttering.
He's very excited.
I get so excited about this stuff. It feels real.
Right.
Like and our kids, I feel like that as a near 40-year-old man, right?
Right.
Still in my 30s.
Very, very near.
Not still in my 30s. But I got over 6 months. I'm good.
It's true.
I feel like as an adult, I still get that feeling. I can't imagine what that feels like for the kids.
I know, you're right.
Like, and I can't imagine what it's going to feel like this trip because they just saw the movie.
Yes, that's true.
And it's so fresh in their minds.
Yeah, they're going to be psyched.
It's going to be an amazing thing.
I'm so
We have
excited.
fast passes.
Oh, you got me really excited.
Which I almost regret getting the fast pass. We'll have to do it twice.
Oh, because of the
because
queue.
I want to do the interactive queue with
Right.
them. Okay. So yeah, I don't want to spend
You guys
too
don't
much
have to
time
worry
on
about it.
Yeah, I don't want to spend too much time on that again.
Right.
But to me, that's the first thing that popped in my head.
Yeah, no, that's a great one.
Okay, so
I have.
that'll wrap up the podcast because it was that good. I don't think we should talk about anything
You
else.
know, we're not topping it. No, my last one is really good.
All right. Well,
But anyway, so I actually right now I have one more meet and greet. And I think it's kind of cool that when you said like think of movie moments that I actually thought about meeting the characters. It just goes to show you that like there's just so much attention to detail for every single thing you do in the park that I feel like when I walk up to anything, whether it's an attraction, a restaurant, I thought even of a couple hotels, but even just a meet and greet, that I feel like, whoop, I'm right in that movie. So my pick is the, Anna and Elsa meet and greet at their summer house.
awesome.
And Epcot. I know you love that one too. But I just have never,
It was on my list. No, keep going.
Oh, I took it from him.
That's fine. Keep going.
I feel really bad. I'm glad I went first, though, because I didn't think of another one. Well, let's do this together, guys.
No, go ahead. You go first.
Okay. Well, no, I just feel like I have never been, because there are other, places where you go and you're in someone's house or whatever. A lot of times, like in Two Town, in Disneyland, you do, and they did a great job. But I really do feel like when I walk into that area, but especially when I walk into the house, I am definitely in someone else's summer house. I just feel like it, right? Summer hoose. I mean, every single detail. There's pictures of them when they're little. They're the tables, like just like the wooden tables, and just every single
It feels lived in
item. Yeah, it feels completely lived in.
Yeah,
and every single item feels like it's an item from that movie.
It does. There's a painting of them with their parents.
That's the one I was
in
thinking
the field.
Of. Yes, I love one.
It feels like it completely feels like it's a lived in home. There's the stairs that go up that you can't see
really
the top of them.
Yep.
Something about those stairs that go up to the second floor of that you can't access. Same thing with Enchanted Tales with Belle.
Right, I know, I love that.
It makes it, which I didn't put on my list, but I should have.
I know, I was thinking about
it. It makes it feel like there's a whole upstairs there that is where their bedrooms are.
Of course it does.
And, their library or something. I don't know.
Right, who knows?
Their mom and dad's bedroom. Who knows what's up there? Like, it feels real.
It really, really does.
That's a good pick. I didn't even think... Mine was a little different. Like I thought of the entire land of Norway now.
No, it does. I know.
The entire pavilion. And listen, Disney made some enemies with the frozenification.
They did. They
Norway.
made a lot of enemies.
But I think the pavilion is still itself, even though the interior of the Anna and Elsa meet and greet looks very much like it would for if they lived in that house. The exterior of it looks exactly like a cottage in Norway.
It really does. I do.
It doesn't look like. I'm sorry to cut you off. It doesn't look like. They still represent Norway in a very realistic way.
Absolutely. I was going to say, I do feel like even if you are, in the group that hates Frozen and can't believe that there's so much Frozen stuff, I still think you can appreciate that area for still being very Norwegian and very, correct and what's that word? I don't
Authentic.
know. Authentic is the word. I really think that you can do that, and you don't have to go meet Anna and Elsa, but you should because it's amazing.
And it's never a long wait. It's always
never. And I think
20 minutes, half hour.
I feel like that adds to it, right? Because I feel like it's not one of those where yes, you're in their house, but there's 5 million other people, so it's kind of distracting.
They do a good job of kind of breaking up the crowd through that building.
So it's only you and a few other people at a time.
Yeah, that's something that they've done with the meet and greets recently in the last, 5-10 years, where they break the crowd up in certain rooms of these meet and greets.
Yes, it really adds to the ambiance.
It does, and it doesn't crowd you when you're in meeting the characters.
Absolutely agree.
Which is a big deal.
That's the best part.
You don't feel like you're being rushed.
No, you never feel rushed.
The characters are amazing, and the characters themselves in this put you in the film because you can ask them pretty much anything. They are
we do.
Anna and Elsa.
Them everything.
Our kids always try to come up with something challenging to ask them, and they never falter. They
really
always
want to
answer.
know. The kids, because the kids are like, oh, well, these are the characters, and I'm gonna find out. Of course
they are. Right.
They're burning questions.
Right, like they want to know where Olaf is, or they want to know how Kristoff's doing, or what happened to Hans, and they have the answers. It's amazing.
It's incredible. I can't.
So just to go a little further, since you stole my
we'll
part
just
of
do
my
a
answer.
double pick. Yes.
So the reason I picked all of Norway was, like I said, it does still feel very Norwegian.
Very.
And I think, of course, the cast members add to that because it's a lot of it's all international program people, but most of them are the international college kids,
right,
who work at those pavilions. So
that's so great that they do that.
But I love that part of that aspect of
it's
World
amazing.
Showcase. I love talking to those cast members. I love learning where they're from. And listen, is the Norway Pavilion at Epcot like a small town in Norway? No, but it's a representation of a lot of little parts of the country.
Exactly.
Same as all the other pavilions. Like Norway is very modern, regular cities like we have.
Right.
But like the cast members will quickly tell you they don't live in stave churches. You know what I mean? But it's very modern. They have everything, all the creature comforts that we have.
But there are also areas.
But there are very historic areas that have these stave churches and have these types of architecture, and it's fun to get to experience it. But the part that really puts me in the middle of the movie is, of course, is Frozen Ever After.
Right, of course.
You feel like when you hit the room with Elsa,
I know.
when she is singing "Let It Go,"
Yes.
and she is walking towards you.
I know, it really feels like she's just there hanging out with you.
Yeah, you were in Frozen. You're in the movie.
So right.
You're experiencing it. You were there when she. Sorry, my stomach is growling. That's another very unprofessional part
It's
of it.
just making very strange noises.
I guess I didn't eat enough breakfast today.
Slightly distracting.
I wonder if it made the podcast. I'm not editing that out because that was really funny. So, another thing, like if I was home with Rolly Crump, I can't be like, "Hey, Rolly, did you hear my stomach growling?"
It's really true.
Like he's all business to have Rolly Crump. No, he's actually really fun. But the thing is, like, the Imagineers again, they took an attraction in the Maelstrom,
right?
And rest in peace. A lot of people still miss it.
I know, and it was great. It was
I don't miss it. I think they did a great job with.
But they did do an awesome job.
Listen, you know me too. I'm not. Disney can do no wrong. If Disney is doing something
like
that I don't agree with, I'll say it. Like,
right.
Hence, parking fees for hotels. I don't love that. I don't love those things.
Right.
And I'll tell you that I don't love them. Why wouldn't I? Like,
because
Disney's not
to tell the truth.
Exactly. And no one would come. Like, who's going to listen to the podcast if all I do is say, "This is great. This is great."
No, you want to know different.
Right.
opinions.
But I think they hit it out of the park with Frozen Ever After. I feel like I'm in the film. The queue is phenomenal.
Yeah, the queue is
walking
great.
through when you see what's the guy's name? The big guy, Big Summer Blowout. What's that guy's name?
Oh my goodness. Oh no.
Oaken. When you see Oaken in the sauna, when he
People
rubs the
who are
window,
listening are like, "It's Oaken, you guys. It's Oaken."
God, why can't you remember? You're supposed to be an expert at Disney.
Yeah, exactly.
When he's in the sauna and you see his hand and he like rubs a little the steam off and he
the
looks.
Best.
It's amazing. They did a great job with it. So
they really did.
Taking something that was already there, it had to be so challenging to convert it to something brand new.
Imagine.
And it really does put you right in the middle of Frozen. It's awesome. So, yeah, so we kind of tag team that one. So it's back to you.
It is?
Yeah, because
I see.
We only have so many.
Okay, yep. I only have 2 left. So okay.
I mean, I said I thought of a lot, but I didn't prepare a lot. So,
right.
Yeah.
Well, I'm just kidding. So I'm going to go with my next one, which I know that you will agree with me. So another thing that brings me right into the movie is actually walking into and the entire experience of 1900 Park Fair.
Okay, what movie are we walking into?
Oh, Cinderella.
Okay.
Sorry, for dinner.
I was waiting. I didn't know which one you were talking about.
I'm
Good.
so sorry. For
Perfect.
dinner.
And now I completely agree with you.
Yes. So, I mean, and I don't know if it's not always exactly the same, but I just remember walking into the restaurant and we were greeted by Lady Tremaine. She just walked right to us, and was immediately like yelling at us and, cracking us up. And just, it's unbelievable. I know you're there that you're supposed to sit down and eat a meal. And of course you do. And I actually love the food. But it's absolutely second to just watching the scene in the movie. That's what you feel like.
Yep.
And of course it's different every time because they're actual people there. But the interaction between every single character that's there with you, but also with each other is unreal.
Except for Prince Charming. Whenever he comes over to the table, I'm like, dude,
he's kind of lame. I will admit, but he's a little lame in the movie too.
Yeah, he doesn't have a personality in the movie, really.
No.
So
what's he supposed to do?
So they hit the nail right in the head.
They got it
like,
right.
Cinderella comes over. She's Cinderella.
She really is Cinderella.
And Drizella and Anastasia, right?
And they're like fighting all the time.
Yeah.
Yes, you're right.
They come over, they're fighting, they have the makeup and they're silly and they're angry and Lady Tremaine is just a wicked lady when she comes over.
She's so mean.
She's not nice to your kids at all.
No, she's mean to them. I love it.
It's perfect. And then Prince Charming comes over, he's like, "What's up, fellas?
Does anyone want a picture?
Anybody want to guys try the dessert or pretty good? Saw a peanut butter cupcake over there. You want to try that?" Like,
I'm a fan of the lemonade.
That's Prince Charming. He doesn't have much of a shtick.
It's true. But I just think...
Would it be funny if he did walk up to you and was like, "What's up, dude?
You feel like
What's
you
going
want
on,
to
fellas?"
say that.
Yeah.
But no, and I think, and of course, I'm totally biased because the one time we went and our oldest daughter, I think Drizella pulled her up out of our table and started dancing with her. And then Cinderella came over and said, "That's not how you dance with a princess. This is how you dance with a princess." And she grabbed our daughter and she was dancing. And then, our daughter was just dancing with all 3 of those characters. And awesome. It was unbelievable. But I really did feel like we were just part of the crew
You're
in Cinderella.
yeah.
And it was unbelievable. And I do feel like we've been there since, and I still felt like that. And I just think that for some reason, that particular character interaction to me just pulls you in more than most.
Was it Jack? Did he have his Chip or Dale hat on? Lady Tremaine said,
Chip.
"Who brought this filthy rodent to the
yes!
table?"
Get rid of that rodent. And he was, of course, Jack pulled it right off his head and was hiding it.
She was great. She called him a filthy rodent.
No. It was a Mickey stuffed. It was a Mickey plush toy.
Okay.
And because it was a rodent, right?
Right.
So, and he was like hiding it and sitting on it. But he really did feel like he was getting yelled at in the movie by Lady Tremaine.
Yeah, they do an amazing job there.
It's unbelievable, really you guys. Oh,
I point people toward that one a lot,
yes.
Clients and listeners, because a very similar place as far as experience is Cinderella's Royal Table,
right?
And my stomach again. Holy cow!
Are you all right?
I think you need to take over the podcast for a while.
You're gonna be fine.
1900 Park Fair. Excuse me. 1900 Park Fair is a lot less expensive.
It is.
And listen, if you want to eat in Cinderella Castle,
right,
and you want to have a table service meal that's a signature restaurant, do by all means.
Yeah.
If it's your one trip at Disney, you're splurging.
Not getting that experience anywhere else.
Right. But if you want the character interaction at a pretty good buffet meal.
I love the buffet.
Yeah, and the dessert is second to none. The dessert
is unreal. Absolutely.
That's why Prince Charming loves it. Hey,
that's why he sits and eats.
Have that peanut butter cup brownie. What's up? That's why, yeah. I mean, if you're looking for Prince Charming, he's sitting by the dessert and eating. No, I'm kidding.
Apparently drinking a lemonade.
He's obviously drinking a lemonade. He's obviously a very fun part of the meal, but I give him a hard time because I think so many little girls are there to see Cinderella, and
yeah,
they're not.
He definitely gets pushed to the side.
Yeah, he does. He just
right,
when he comes
boys
up,
aren't looking for Prince Charming.
No, there's no boy. The boys are like, all right, like they like to get embarrassed by the stepsisters. And,
get a big kiss with lipstick.
Yeah, with the lipstick. Yeah, it's great. Okay, so for my next trick, for our next one, hopefully my stomach won't growl and I won't have to interrupt the podcast again. Next time I'm doing one of these in a full stomach.
I know. I
gotta I don't know, get some sunflower seeds or something.
Is that fill your stomach?
I don't know. I don't know why I can't. That's what I came up with.
Fair enough.
In a moment.
I've actually never seen you eat those, but go on.
I do enjoy sunflower seeds.
Sometimes. Okay. They don't care.
No, I don't think they do. Sorry about that again. It's like you and I having a conversation. Like everyone's like, dude, why can he get on with it?
Why are we here?
Next one, Swiss Family Robinson Treehouse.
Oh, what a great pick. Such a good pick.
I talk about this one a lot on the show. I hope they never replace it. Disneyland, they replaced it with Tarzan. It doesn't have the same effect.
It's not. And I love Tarzan.
And it's a great movie, Tarzan. It's
an amazing movie.
But the attraction lost a little bit of its charm.
I couldn't agree with you.
When you switch it to the Tarzan Treehouse.
Which is weird. I don't agree with you usually. But.
No, it's true. You don't ever. Like movies, parenting decisions.
It's getting really personal.
So, no, but I think walking through there,
right?
Everything about it feels like the movie. Like what I always mention is the water system with the water,
right?
The pulley pulling the water up to the top of the tree.
That is so neat.
And you see the water spilling out of it as it goes up.
I know.
And you walk into the one room and it has the old fashioned record player. I don't know what the technical name of it is. And it plays Swiss polka.
I don't know No, I was trying to think of the name.
No, Swiss polka music.
Yes.
I'll try to remember to play that here as well.
Oh, that's so cool. I love that music.
And there's other things like the kitchen looks like it's been used recently, and
yes, it does.
You go to the bedrooms, and the bed's made, and it's just this. It's one of those things where you can imagine yourself if you're going to live anywhere in Walt Disney World, any attraction, you pick this one
absolutely
because you sleep in a tree, and it's amazing,
right?
And it's just a really neat thing, and I feel like I'm in the movie when I walk through. You kind of forget that you're in. It's one of those ones you forget you're in a theme park altogether.
Oh, I was totally going to say that. I know because I almost picked Tom Sawyer's Island, but then I realized it's not really a movie. It's just so, it gets you, right?
Yeah, no. I mean...
But you just don't feel like you're in Disney World at all.
No.
You just feel like you're in the middle of an island that you're just... I
totally
So
agree.
they're very similar. But anyway, great pick, and I totally agree.
Yeah, so Anyway, yeah, there isn't another place I think that you would want to kind of sleep in and live in, and I can imagine getting going to get some food, sitting in the top of I know my stomach again. Holy cow! Sitting in the top of the tree, and this is Amy is hysterically laughing right now.
I'm so sorry.
I don't have time to edit this stuff out. Let's go. Next one.
The poor guy is trying so hard to get through his sentence. Oh, okay. You want me to do mine? So
See, if I was by myself, I could hide this stuff. But he's looking at me. I can't hide it.
I'll give him a moment, and I'm going to do my last one.
Here's where you need a narrator to be like, ladies and gentlemen, Amy is hysterically laughing, wiping tears from her eyes because she's laughing so hard at her husband as he tries to keep it together. Morgan Freeman.
Is that
Should I do Morgan Freeman?
Yes, do one.
Morgan Freeman impression?
Yes.
I can't do Morgan Freeman.
I was so excited.
I was going to try to do the Get Busy Living or Get Busy Dying line from Shawshank, but I can't do it. I can't do Morgan Freeman.
I don't think you can.
No, you never hear, Frank Caliendo can do Morgan Freeman.
Yeah, he can.
I can't. Okay, go.
Okay.
Next
so
one.
for my last one.
Is your last one?
Yep.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Okay, good. All right,
remember we tag teamed it?
Yeah.
So my last one is just the Winnie the Pooh attraction. And yes, definitely, we always talk about the interactive cube there because it's like my favorite thing. So definitely, I do really love that part, but that's not when I feel like I'm in the movie. I feel like I'm in the movie every second as soon as you get on the attraction. Like when you get in your little honeypot vehicle, I mean, it's unbelievable. Like, of course, for me, my very favorite is the Tigger room when it bounces.
Yes.
Because you're like, oh, this is exactly what Tigger feels like every time he moves.
Yeah.
And it really is.
That's
But
cool.
I also love the Windy room when Piglet is like hanging on.
The rain came down,
yes,
down. That
I love
part.
that song.
Yeah.
But I feel like it is windy, right? Am I
It
crazy?
is. No, you feel.
Yeah,
Yeah, they
it's very
definitely have the
windy.
wind in your face.
So they have the wind in your face.
I almost feel rain. I don't think it's really raining
I definitely
there, but
always
you kind of feel it.
Definitely. Yeah. And then I do feel like, and I hope this is okay to say this word, but I feel like what is it going to be? I feel like the heffalumps and woozles part is like pretty trippy.
Oh yeah, trippy is the right word.
Can sweat, they're insincere. Beware, 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 beware. A heffalump or woozle is very confusal. A heffalump or woozle's very sly. Sly. They come in ones and twosles, but if they so choozles, before your eyes you'll see them multiply.
But I do think that
I've never done a drug in my life, but I feel like I did when I in that
yeah,
room.
I feel like no, I also have not. I don't know what that really feels like, but I
See,
think,
listen, like if you're looking for a podcasting role model for your child, maybe I can be him because I didn't ever do a drug.
that's true.
I'm very clean.
But you feel like
cut
you
like
have when you go to the heffalump.
I do. And when I'm in that part, I'm like, this must be what
It's really
LSD is like.
But that's also if you watch the Winnie the Pooh movies, there are tons of moments like that.
Yeah, that's. I think it's. I mean, I didn't create the films, but I think that's what they're going for. Is like this,
Absolutely.
almost like this, like 60s, like drug induced moment.
Which
like,
is a fun aspect of it because it doesn't happen very often, especially these days in the movies. But it's fun because there's a lot of that in like Alice in Wonderland and
smoking in Pinocchio. Alice in
yeah,
Wonderland.
lots of smoking.
I
Getting drunk.
was smoking in Peter Pan. I know they call them Indians in the movie. Obviously, it's not the right word that we should use anymore. The Native Americans in the movie. Smoke. They have like a peace pipes and stuff.
Oh wow!
At the beginning, I noticed this because we had the Blu-ray for that. We had the Blu-ray for Pinocchio. I've noticed at the beginning of those films they have a PSA that says smoking is bad, and it has like the show in Pinocchio smoke, and they kids like green getting sick.
But they can't have like a PSA for Pooh movies, like just so you know, don't do acid.
Yeah, Winnie the Pooh falls asleep, and it seems like he's throwing acid here. Acid's a bad idea, kids. Don't do that. No, you can't.
And my point is,
that's like putting it in their head. Like you should do acid.
What is acid?
Yeah, it makes me see heffalumps and woozles. I'm doing it.
That's fun.
Yeah.
But anyway, my
note
point
to self:
is,
don't let our kids watch the Winnie the Pooh movie.
My point is that every room in that attraction, really, you do feel like you're part of it. And it's just the sights and the sounds. And as I said, the feel, it does feel like it's raining and windy. And it's just amazing. And
yeah, Winnie the Pooh and the blustery day?
The blustery day. And it's a very blustery day.
That's exactly Well, that's what that attraction is based on, right?
I know.
That's the book.
They
or
just
the
do
movie.
a great job.
Yeah, it's really well done. Again, it's another retrofitted one. Mr. Toad's Wild Ride used to be in that building. And I know you can still do it out in Disneyland. We got to do it when we were out there. Our kids were like, what was that?
I know. I love Mr. Toad.
When we took our kids on Mr. Toad's Wild Ride, it was the most confusing experience. We were talking about life and death for like an hour.
Oh, at least.
But they were like, so, wait, you're dead?
And
I'm
wait,
like,
so
yeah.
do you go to hell? And it's like, oh, this is not what we meant to tell.
It's like, was that a devil? What the hell was going on in that ride?
Right.
Yeah, we had there was very serious lessons were learned that day, my friends.
Oh, no.
No, like serious things happen. It's weird, like
It's really true.
you had to talk about like drinking and driving. Like that's what happens in an
that
attraction?
wasn't good because they were really little.
They were like, what happened?
Right? Why would he drink and drove?
Walt was all about teaching lessons in his attractions in the early days, man. Anyway, so yeah, it's a funny thing. But what I was trying to say is it was an attraction that they basically retrofitted from the Mr. Toad's Wild Ride attraction.
Which was original, right?
Yeah, and that was there since opening day
Right.
in Magic Kingdom. And they did a great job, and it does put you right in the middle of the movie.
It really does.
And I like how you said that the part with the rain room.
Yes.
And it feels like a storybook too.
Oh, it is a storybook with the pages. I'm picturing like Piglet, like his little body, but there are all the words and everything.
Yeah. It feels like
It's
it's a storybook versus kind of a movie. Like it's
That's a good
together.
point. I didn't think about that. That you're really in the story of the movie, of the story in the movie. You know what I mean? Like
oh my
a book
mind
within a book within a movie.
mind blown. I don't even know if I can go on with the rest of this episode.
We'll just end it.
It's like the Matrix. Take the red pill or the blue pill.
Yes.
And then go see a heffalump and a woozle.
Right. But don't do acid.
No, don't do that. Don't do acid, kids. If you take anything away from this podcast,
that's the lesson.
Eat a Hot Pocket before you start recording, and don't do acid. Now I'm like I want to do Jim Gaffigan.
Yes.
Hot Pockets. Okay. So my last one. For my last one, does it always come down to this for me? It does, kind of.
What is it?
Read my last one off the screen. It always comes down to,
Yes, it does.
of course, Star Wars, and in this case, Star Tours.
It's like a really good call, though. Really
Dude.
good pick.
When they first did Star Tours, you felt like you were in the film, right?
Mm-hmm.
It had kind of stereo sound in the queue. The queue was very detailed. R2D2 and C3PO were a part of it. The music from the movie played, but it was decent audio. It wasn't phenomenal. The Star Speeder was always there. When they closed it and reopened it as
there's nothing like
Star Tours: The Adventures Continue. Now, see, this is what I'm worried about because I don't know what they're going to do when Star Wars Galaxy's Edge opens because that's not in that land. So I'm hoping they don't get rid of it.
Oh yeah, that's
I'm worried.
True.
I'm really worried about it because I love that attraction.
I
So
know.
the
I never
queue,
thought about it.
right? I don't. Let's not dwell on it
Oh,
because
okay.
we have a while,
Right.
and I still can enjoy it now.
That's true.
So walking, there's been no announcements. No one said it's
No.
going anywhere,
Yeah,
but
that's right.
and I wouldn't think it would because they just invested a lot of money
Just
into it.
invested- Yeah, I don't think so.
No, I mean that was probably 7 years ago now, but still. But going in to like the queue was amazing. You're in this Star Wars airport, basically.
Yes, you are.
There's a big board overhead that has all the destinations.
Right.
There's R2D2 and C3PO were there in that front, the first room. Then you get into the next room, and there's the robot TSA agents.
Right.
The guy's scanning the bags. He's not even paying attention. There's
Yes.
like lightsabers going through
Right,
and
right.
like Wookiees and animals.
Right.
And then you look over your head, and there's the hallway with everybody walking by,
Mm-hmm.
and you see like the Star Wars characters, like the Crimson Guards.
Yeah, it's so
You
cool.
see R2D2 walk
Right.
by
Mhm.
or roll by. You see one thing I didn't notice. I just found this recently. I found this out that the whole Han Solo frozen in carbonite
Yeah,
thing.
of course.
Okay, so there are two guards pushing someone frozen in carbonite, like floating through past that window,
Okay.
and it's not Han Solo.
Oh,
It's Jar Jar Binks.
is it really?
So
That's
everybody
so funny.
finally got their wish, and Jar Jar
That's
Binks
all I
is
wanted.
frozen in carbonite.
Oh, that's so funny.
Have you ever heard the theory that Jar Jar Binks is like the Sith Master.
So I've heard it because you told it to me the other day.
Okay.
But yes, I remember that.
Okay. If you haven't read this, Google it today.
I know, it's really cool.
You should pause it now. Pause the podcast.
Yes, and just
because I only have a little bit left to go anyway. Google if you're on your computer right now. Not if you're in your car. If you're in your car, don't do anything. Just keep listening.
Well, just drive.
Yes. If you're on a treadmill, it might be weird to stop and Google it. Don't do that. Just do it later. But remember to go back and Google Jar Jar Binks Sith Master.
It's pretty incredible.
It's a crazy off the wall theory. But the more you read about it, the more you're like, that's plausible.
It does make sense. It does. You can see it.
Anyway, so he's in Carbonite, and then you get into the next room, and it's the load area where they have their pre-show, which is fantastic now. Allison Janney, there's the robot voice for the pre-show. And then you board, and the attraction is just so much better. And you are dead in the middle of Star Wars.
You really are.
You're fighting, Darth Vader.
Yeah.
There's Yoda on a projection, like a hologram, or BB-8. So cool. One person even gets to be the rebel spy. They literally get to be in the movie, inside the attraction of the movie.
It's unbelievable. And I think that part of the reason that it's so much like you're in the movie is you never know which scenario you're going to get. So it's always different.
There's only 50-some different combinations.
So many different
54,
combinations.
53.
So you are in a movie because you don't know what's going to happen next.
Right. And you're
watching the scene unfold. You don't know what scene it's going to be.
Right. I mean, you could be on Hoth.
Come on. Where else can you do something?
No, you can't. You could be on Hoth. You could be on the Wookiee planet that I can't pronounce. You could be... You can be on, in Naboo. You can be on, and then you end now on the new planet.
Oh, right.
You go through the sand on the red planet from the new Star Wars, The Last Jedi, and then you end on Batuu. You haven't been on it since then.
I have not.
At the end, now you always, this is the one thing for right now, you always land on Batuu, which is the remote outpost where Star Wars Galaxy's Edge is set.
Oh, I see what you mean.
So you land at Star Wars Galaxy's Edge.
Oh, that's so cool.
So you get to see a little bit of the land as you're landing.
Oh, that's so fun.
So, I mean, there's nothing that puts you in a movie like that. That's
absolutely true.
I don't know if there's an attraction in Walt Disney World that puts you in a movie like that. I don't think
there is. Good call.
And when you walk, what's really funny? What I love is the end of the attraction. I don't know why I love this, but it ends and you hear Allison Janney's voice again, and she's like, please unbuckle your seatbelts, whatever. And then she goes, bye-bye. And she has like this bye-bye.
Love that.
And then you hear all the seatbelts click at once.
Right.
They all unlock. It's like, they all unlock. And then the doors open. Mm-hmm. And when you get up to walk out in the hallway, there's that Star Wars exit music. And it's always the same.
Yes, that's
it's
true.
Like,
yeah, no, it pumps you up for your day.
Yeah, you're walking through, and I always find myself like spiking my 3D glasses in the thing. I'm so excited.
It's like a lightsaber.
Oh, I get off and I'm like ready for. I'm like, I'm get all excited. Yeah, like you feel like you're just like you just did.
No, you're right.
You feel like you were just in Star Wars.
You didn't know
you can't help it. You can't help.
Absolutely.
And you can't see me, but I'm visibly like shaking right now.
He is really moving.
Really animated because you feel like that. It's just. There's nowhere else. And again, I love Disney, love Star Wars. It's the perfect marriage for me. It's just amazing. So, yeah. And if you haven't ridden in a while, I get it. I get people who have legit motion sickness and can't do it.
Absolutely. That happens.
There are like non-drowsy forms of like Dramamine and stuff.
That's true.
That you can take to ride stuff like that.
It's pretty fun.
Because it's worth riding.
It's really, really unique. It's a very unique experience.
Yeah, it is. It's and ever since Body Wars closed, it's the only... it's that kind of simulator.
Right.
Of course, you have simulators like Flight of Passage. Like, oh, wow, which we didn't mention. Holy cow, does that put you in the movie? I haven't done it. Yeah, geez, I didn't even mention Flight of Passage. Anyway, that's what we'll have to do with part 2 of this. Like I said, there were so many to choose from that it was almost impossible.
We'll do a part 2.
Let's do part 2. Okay, so that's it. I think that's all we came up with. All of them. That's our 10 or 9 because you kind of cheated and took one of mine.
I feel like I went first, so how could I have cheated?
Yeah, I gotta stop. You gotta stop letting you go first. All right, so thanks.
Life for?
Yeah, probably. This is probably it for us. You're done going first.
Sorry, guys.
So, you're seeing the end here.
What is this?
You're seeing the end of the entire dynamic of the relationship. So again, thank you for joining me in my little studio.
My pleasure. Thanks for
having me. It's a lot of fun. And we're leaving. We better pack our bags. We're leaving for Disney.
We gotta go, man.
And Disney Cruise, Disney World, Disney Wonder, kids clubs, magic, fireworks, pirate night, Man, if that doesn't get you excited about
I'm
becoming,
excited.
I'm excited. I wish I could take the listener with us. We're going to try
We
to
are.
do
We're gonna
live
do our
videos,
best. Yep.
to do some live stuff from the parks, from the ship, the sail away party, we'll do maybe a couple tours of our resort rooms, Polynesian.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Boardwalk,
Yes.
right? Yeah, we'll try to do all that stuff. So, again, thanks again. This was a lot of fun. Looking forward to having you on the next time when you don't go first. You're going second. So you don't steal anything.
I'm looking forward to it also.
And that is going to do it for this week's episode of the Ear to There Disney podcast. Thank you once again to my wife, the lovely, the one, the only, Amy Liz. Thanks, Ames, for doing the show, even though I know you won't listen to this. Maybe someday you will. And thank you for listening to the show, for giving up your time today, wherever you are. I always say, on the treadmill, in the car, out for a walk with the dog. To use that airline argument, I know you have a lot of choices when it comes to podcasts. You could be listening to, I don't know, Adam Carolla right now, or Anna Faris. I know she has a pretty good podcast, but you're listening to me, so I really appreciate it. Maybe you already listened to those shows, and I'm at the bottom of the list, but I appreciate it anyway, and I'm so happy and so thankful that you listen each and every week, so thank you very, very much. And just remember, there will be a new episode of the Ear to There Disney podcast each and every Monday. I might stop saying Monday morning because sometimes they're not going to get out until the afternoon or the evening, but they will be on Monday, as well as a new episode of It's a Food World with myself and Johnny Shortsleeve. They will be on Wednesdays. So feel free to share, tell your friends, tell your neighbors, share the links on Facebook, on Instagram, on Twitter if you're still over there on Twitter. And thank you again so much for listening. You are awesome. Have a fantastic week. Bye-bye.